Oh shit, it's the Dungeoneering podcast.
This is a world premiere.
Here we go.
I done been through a whole lot. Trial, tribulation, but I know God. Satan wanna put me in a bow tie. Pray that the holy water don't go dry.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of the Dungeoneering podcast. I am here with my co-host Chillax. What's up, Chillax?
Not much. I know we promised to have Bao on the show for this episode, but it seems he fell off a cliff and his body was never found. So we have another guest for you, and I think you're going to enjoy who we have for you.
Yes.
Let's get his intro going, Doug.
What's up, Kevin?
Hey boys,
Kevin Kohler, everyone, is on the DG podcast. It's been a long time coming, and we finally got him.
What's up, boys?
Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
For all the people out there that might not know me by my real name, I'm also known as Warfare52.
That's Warfare52, motherfucker.
50 fucking 2.
For anyone who hasn't heard his rap, of course.
I highly recommend listening to the full version of his RuneScape rap.
Link will be in the description for sure.
Mhm.
Alright, so first thing I thought we'd talk about is, since you're known as the Dungeoneering historian around here, give us a little of your personal history.
Yeah, you've been around the DG community for probably longer than anyone else that's even semi-active these days. So I know you have an extensive history in this community, so we'd love to hear all about it from you.
Well, sure. I first started dungeoneering. Well, I think like most people, I think like most people who started around my time, I started like dungeoneering before there was really a metagame, like before there was DGS or anything. Like as soon as basically the timer came out in World 28, there was like two groups of people. The 3BO world, there was like there was like three groups of people. There was like the people that were just there for XP. Then there was like the people who were like kind of cared about floor times, but just only so you could get more XP. and then there were like the heroes, the so-called heroes.
And what did you start off as, Kevin?
So I started off as a lowly person just going for XP. I remember
Lowly peasant?
Well, I remember I first started dungeoneering because I just wanted to be able to kill frost dragons.
That is ambitious.
Yeah, and then I never stopped. I got 85, but I never
Love
stopped.
it first sight?
Yeah, I just went straight to 120. Exactly.
More on Love at
Never
First Sight
left.
later in
And
the
you
podcast.
never fucking maxed either?
Yeah,
Just
No.
stuck at DG the entire time.
I can't grind. I couldn't grind anymore ever since I started to DG.
And are you still not maxed?
I'm still not maxed to this day.
That's what, 6 years, 5 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say Warfare52 is never going to max?
You know, I'll never say never, but most likely not. Like, I'll never max it personally, but if somebody has my account,
If anyone out there listening wants to max his account for him,
you know, because I used to say I'm never gonna get 99 farming, and somebody got 99 farming on my account. I don't really know who. I logged in one day, I had 99 farming, so it's like, sweet, I'll take
Alright,
it.
and if anyone out there wants to try training on his account, Kevin, your username and password is?
Yeah. I don't even know my password, man. I literally would say it. I have it written down somewhere. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So anyways, I used to I really just wanted XP at first, because before I used to dungeoneer, I just used to be all about like efficient skilling methods and such, and I realized like dungeoneering is very quick XP.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I was just trying to train on my dungeoneering so I could get into the 3BO world. So then I did a floor with I don't know if you guys have heard of him, Aways. Do you know who
I
Aways
know
is?
him
Yeah,
quite well because I actually knew him before DG.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Well, he used to be like a general in 3BO, and my friend bought leech floors off of him, and then I did the floors with him, and I remember he got like a 20, like a 35-minute floor, and I was just like awestruck. I was like, how could somebody complete a dungeon in 35 minutes? Because back in those days, the floors on Random Worlds were like what, 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
An hour was considered like
If you got an hour, you're like, geez, that was pretty
Yeah.
good.
yeah. You're like, wow. You just kind of back in
And
the
then-
day.
Back then, it was like people would actually like go around like getting all the resources and shit and like
Yeah,
create
man.
crafting armor.
Yeah, I remember I used to.
Gotta have full army before you go into boss.
I remember I used to catch the dinos and make like ranged armor.
Hunter Kevin.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was like, wow, 35 minutes. Like, I wonder how fast the fastest floor is then. So like I looked up fast floor on YouTube, and then back then, that was before Bullseye had even gotten a sub 10 before, but there was this one video by Christopher. He used to DG with Bullseye all the time. He doesn't have his video up anymore, but I remember watching it, and it was like 12 minutes, and I couldn't believe it. I was so amazed. It was the most amazing thing to me. So I just remember, like, from that point onward, that was right when I was starting to get on 3BO Worlds. For my abandoned floors, I would just start to not care that much about dying. I would just try to
So
get
Suicider was born.
yeah, I was just trying to get the floors like under 40 minutes. Like 40 minutes, like if I keyed the floor. And the other thing was in World 148, I was like pretty low combat. I was like 115 combat, and they would never take me because I was low combat. So I had to key my own floors. So so that's another thing. I started to key all my floors, and I started to like realize how to make it faster. Back then, the metagame kind of consisted of dropping the GT, running forward a few like rooms, gating it, coming back to help with the GD, and then like moving the GT to the next GD.
I think that's what Peter still does.
Yeah. But
Did you open map back then?
I didn't know what the map meant. Okay, well, this is for a later part of the story, man. I gotta get. So I basically started developing a metagame by myself, like for doing floors. Like I started figuring out how to do floors by myself.
Professor started early.
Yeah, man, that was fun back in the day when
Researching.
yeah, well, all the people like on the 3BO worlds, and like the people you now probably would be considered the best, but back then like they never DG'd, like Namey, Ferrado, I Keys, all those people, and me. We just were trying to figure out how to do fast floors, and it was really fun. But so yeah, eventually rising through the ranks, you started like you would DG with random people, right? And then if you found somebody like somewhat good, you would like add them as a friend, and then they would add you, and then you would log in and just invite like green dots on the world, because like back then the worlds were really active. You could probably usually find like 10 or 11 friends at any time. So then like everybody started to get to know each other, and then DGS came along and started to develop the metagame more, like with crit path and stuff. I remember when crit path was invented. Like I remember when they discovered it. It was pretty cool. Because I used to do floors with this guy called a Fabled Hero, and he'd always be like, yeah, this path is gonna end because I can open this door, because his stats were all like level 30.
Right.
And so he sort of started to figure out, like, if I can open these doors, they have a low level requirement, and then the path's gonna end. So then
so that's how Crit was discovered?
Yeah, that's how like people like him, me, like Utulu, like Wintastical started noticing that. And then it was Salazar and Kalisme, I think, who started to research on just like the actual.
Kalisme did something?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Kalisme, but I remember it was Salazar. And he discovered the crit path. But anyways, yeah, that's basically my early history. And then the rest is just like grinding records with Morp and RFP and whatever.
You gotta tell us about how you met up with Morp and everything.
Okay, well.
There's no time limit on this.
That's done, boys. Come on, open.
Morp wants you to tell us.
That's done, boys. Come on, open.
Well, Morp was just one of those people floating around on the 3BO worlds that he'd always come with like 6 or 7 different people that looked exactly like him, and he'd be like, "Morp unit," and just start spamming and just like. It was really
So
fucked up.
initially you probably thought he was retarded.
I thought. Hold on, I'll tell you that. Okay, but yeah. So I just did some floors with him, and I realized he actually was not bad. And then we sort of became like, we weren't close friends, but we would DG once in a while, and then we started doing 3BO floors together because it was just like general only floors, and we started learning to DG. But the thing I was gonna say is the first time I was ever on Skype with Morp.
It's okay, you can tell us.
The first time I ever he was just coming back from the dentist, so like every time he said something he would slurp. He'd be like he's like Warfare, Gate Silver Crescent. So I thought he was literally so retarded, like I actually thought he was a retard. And then I remember I was like making fun of him in a call that I didn't realize that he was in, and I was like, Warfare, and that's how the slurp thing became a thing.
The origin of the slurp. You've heard it here first, folks.
That's because I thought Morp was retarded, and I started to make fun of him. I was like, "What the
And
hell?"
I assume you still think that to this day?
Nah,
Like the
man.
majority?
Yeah, no, man. Morp isn't retarded, but he's a little bit weird. I remember he called me one time at like 3 a.m. He was like, "Hey, Warfare, what's up?" I was like, I don't know, just like, I don't know, in bed watching videos or something. He's like, he starts going on video chat. And he doesn't have a shirt on. There's another guy in the room without a shirt on. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling with my friend." I was like, "What the fuck? Why don't you have shirts on?"
Some very intimate chilling they're doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but yeah, Morp was a good friend. So I don't have anything bad to say about him. He's just, throughout Dungeoneering history, there's lots of guys that just like divide opinions. Like ego people like Blowy, Morp.
Right. Polarizing
was-
people.
Yeah, but I was always friends with like most of them, like Blowy, Morp. Man, we gotta mention like everybody in this podcast.
Sure.
Well,
you'll get a chance later on with the word association game. We're gonna...
We've gone through a lot of your history for pre-EOC. So what was your EOC experience like? That was a pretty big change for the DG community, and I know you stuck around. So
yeah, well, the thing was, a lot of people don't. They sort of associate the end of the golden era, so-called, of Dunge with EOC, but in reality, it was ending before EOC even started. People like I don't want to say it was me, but it was people like me and Morp who we started to realize, like, if you grind floors, you'll get records. You don't even need to be good. Like, you need to be somewhat good, like compared to now, but you don't need to be like exceptionally amazing to get records. And then people start to realize that around the end of EOC, like for example, like Ruzza got like #1 Warp and #1 Occult.
I mean, Reza was a very good DJ, right?
Yeah, like Ruzza and the fucking November and people like that. So I'm not saying they were a bad team, but it was just people started to realize like more people than just Namey or just like whatever could get records, and then it sort of started to kill off the motivation for a lot of people who just it was just DG was kind of dying like towards the end of pre-EOC, and it carried over to EOC. It wasn't EOC that killed it, I don't think. A lot of people started to quit like towards the end, like for example Kane quit for League of Legends, and people started to quit for League of Legends. That's when League of Legends started to get big.
Or Curve.
And yeah,
The Dutch community migrated to Curve.
Okay, I'll talk about Curve.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, but yeah. So like I remember when EOC first came out, there was like me and Morp, and like Hexless, and like anyone like Kevin, and we were like sort of the only team right at the very beginning of VOC, and it was just we got like all 5 overall records because at that point they were all like 8 minutes, and we just got like 5 7-minute records, and we were like, but we just sort of left it for a long time because it was just no fun like competing with nobody, and nobody was any good. So
You should probably tell Calgary that.
yeah, so we just left it alone, and then all of a sudden like RFB, Ruzza, Calvin, fucking
The dream team.
the dream team, yeah, Fallen RG, Laugh Attack, Born to Rule. They started like getting like all these like 6-minute floors, 8-minute floors, 7-minute floors, filling up the sheet, and like it was weird being in that era because it was strange because before EOC, records weren't sort of like the point of dungeoneering.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people would mostly do floors like in 3BO worlds or just with friends just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you would start to grind for some records once in a while. But but once those teams started getting records, it's like the only thing they did was get records. They never did any dungeoneering for fun.
Right.
So
RFB was grinding like tons of hours back in the day.
yeah. And so it's sort of changed the mentality of dungeoneering from like just like becoming good and gradually finding better teammates and more people knowing you're good, and then maybe you can get a team that's like really good, and then maybe if you're like really good team you might get a record, but you're not gonna, and you only rage quit if the floor is just like annoying as fuck. You don't rage quit if it's like gonna be slow necessarily.
Back
You
to
know
back
what I mean?
GDs.
Yeah, exactly. All the grinding now.
Rage quit the strength door.
Strength ender.
The rage quitting these days is just ridiculous. But
Oh yeah, that's progressed very well. We leave on some of the stupidest things.
yeah,
And
I
before it was just like,
Not that everyone
I
agrees
mean,
on
it had to be really bad for you to leave, but now it's just you leave like right out of base if you open something
yeah.
even remotely slow.
Mhm.
Even when we were grinding for the sub 4, it wasn't like we rage quit. Like, we at least gave the maps a chance, you know.
Right.
But nowadays it's just like it's not even worth it. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, it was weird in that era because not a lot of the people DJing were any good. Like like the best one was probably RP, and he was pretty shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Still is.
yeah. Yeah. But it was weird because I was kind of like I didn't like DJing with people that weren't very good that much. Like
Really?
Oh, really?
Asshole.
but Morp quit, so I thought, well, I may as well join RP's team, and it was like the worst experience of my life DJing with like Born to Rule and like Zorgi. But then we sort of got a team of the people that were pretty good. Like Ben was always good. Ben was good pre-OC too. Like Ben was always pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ben, like Saeed, and like all of a sudden Chillax showed up, and he was good, and like Mustafa, and like sort of like better
Trevor.
DJers from like Sui Leech chats and stuff started to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like over between like March 2013 and like July 2013. I don't know, it's probably earlier than that. It was probably like January or something. Slowly the team started to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And
You gotta weed out all the shit.
yeah, and you know, by the time I got like the occults, like the 437 occults, like Saeed was like just as good as me. Saeed was a good teacher. So
And what were your thoughts
like,
on Reza on
Laugh
that
Attack
score?
was well, it didn't fuck up the floor, but you know, the thing was, Reza wasn't that bad. He was just fucking annoying. Like, he was bad too, but he wasn't like terrible.
Have you
He was
watched
just-
some of his POVs?
No, I'm not saying. I would never say. he
Attacking
was
the
good.
wrong ghost for like 2 minutes?
I would never
Or the
say Reza was
blocks.
good. Yeah, but he wasn't like the worst. Like, he
See
wasn't
the
as bad as like
colors.
Ryan or something.
Okay.
But he was just like, he wasn't even that annoying, but he was really annoying to be in the call with Saeed and Reza.
What if you threw Toys for Tots in that call? In
Oh my
Calvin? Wouldn't that be the best
Toys.
call ever?
I remember both of the overall records I got for Toys for Tots, the 504 Frozen and the 437 Occult, both of them came like right after I was like about to leave because I couldn't handle Caleb anymore. But I'm good friends with Caleb now. I was just like, he was annoying a little bit back then, but he's better now. I would talk to him like only like a few months ago. So
Well, I don't think Caleb's DG'd in over a
yeah,
year.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, and then I don't know. You guys know the rest. I don't really know anything about after 2015.
Where do you think the DG community is heading? Do you have any guesses?
I honestly,
You think we're gonna die out?
I don't think it'll ever die out because it's always going to be something that's going to interest people, like people that are learning how to dungeoneer. They're going to be like, "Oh, how's the fastest I can go?" And a
That's
few
a
of
good
them,
point.
There's been
Yeah.
quite a turnover on who's competing for records compared
Yeah.
to the start. So
yeah. But I think that the record is the main sort of motivator behind the metagame. Like that's how it is now. Before it used to be being good and being invited to the hero teams, but now it's just like getting records. I think that is what is gonna have to change because you can't just because the record sheet is just so much grinding now. It's not even fun. That's why I quit because like it's not even like I didn't even enjoy Dungeoneering
Mm-hmm.
half the time. It was just felt like a job, and I was like, may as well just get a job.
speaking of which, listeners, he is actually currently working as he's doing podcasts.
He's a
Working
security
hard.
guard, so if you're looking
Yeah.
for a new place to hit, Kevin, where are you working?
That information is confidential.
It's in Canada. I'll say that much.
Saskatoon.
Man,
Alright, we're
don't
getting too
give us
specific
away.
now. Alright, so more recently, you were working on the Dungeoneering metagame book. What was the whole story behind that? And when is Chapter 2 coming out, more importantly?
The listeners want to know, Kevin.
Okay, well, I don't have a very good story for this. It was just people were making jokes like, "Oh, write a fucking textbook." And I was like, "Fine, I fucking will." So I wrote it. And,
You wrote a Chapter 1.
You wrote a
Yeah.
chapter.
I wrote it as a joke, but I actually wouldn't mind writing something like that. But it's hard to find motivation sometimes.
Would money be a motivation?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Start a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter for metagame book.
You could
Yeah.
you could just sell the book.
Yeah.
I'd probably buy it. $5 maybe. Worth it.
No, I wouldn't sell the book. But
So last time I checked, Chapter 2 is coming out tomorrow. Is that still?
yeah. Well, I think it's kind of on a deadline, but I think probably tomorrow.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Probably tomorrow, but it depends. But
We're gonna
like,
hold you to that.
if I had to give you a 100% accurate prediction, I'd say tomorrow.
Metagame chapter 2 coming tomorrow.
You heard it here first.
So, a big topic for you that we haven't touched on yet is you have a brother who is also in the Dungeoneering community,
Yeah.
known as Cole among some, Manatee among others. So, what was it like to have a brother to DG with? What was he like?
Well, he was fucking annoying, to be honest. Like, I don't.
But
I
that's
didn't
pretty
like-
unique. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone else DG'd with
Okay.
anyone that they even knew in real life, let alone a family
Well-
member.
Well, that's true. Well, Bullseye DG'd with Foot, but
Okay.
no. When Dungeoneering first was released, I just abhorred it. I just hated it.
Mhm.
And my brother actually liked doing it. He just sold like C3 meds for like until
That is my favorite category.
like until like 60 Dungeoneering the first month it came out, and I was like,
C3 meds.
and I remember I was just. And then when I first started to DG again, like when I wanted to get 85 for Frost Dragons, I was like, did a lot of floors with Aiden, and then he stopped caring because he couldn't handle the 3-hour floors of
But
everybody.
he has like ADD, right?
Aiden doesn't have ADHD.
Oh, I just assumed he did.
No. But It was weird because I never really taught Aiden Dungeoneering. Like, he just learned it from watching me, and like I never taught him anything really.
You're
He just
saying
learned.
learn pretty generously, right?
Okay, Aiden wasn't that bad, to be honest. Like,
He had some trouble picking up DT at some point.
yeah, but I don't think Aiden was that bad.
So
You
where does this manatee thing come from? He was referred to as a manatee.
You know, like anything else on the internet, it originated from a very strange discussion that I was having with Kane in the 3BO chat, where for some fucking reason, somebody asked, "What does my face win mean?" And I was like, it means manatee federal waters. It's the waters that manatees claim as their own sovereign nation. And then Kane started talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, Pole is the mayor of this place." And then it just
Took
got
off from
bigger.
there.
Yeah, it just got bigger from there. And every time I would talk to Kane, I'd be like, "So what's the news on the MFW?" He's like, "Oh yeah, well, Pole made a decree last month declaring that manatees have to file tax returns in February and shit." And then I don't know how it became associated with Aiden being stupid. I think it had to do with no, I remember. Okay. Aiden used to just beg me to use his account because Pole had like the worst stats you can imagine, like his RuneScape account. So he used to beg me to use my RuneScape account, and I was like, "Fuck no, I want to DG myself." And then one time when I was at work back in the day when I used to work at 7-Eleven, he took my account. Yeah, he took my account, and he's like, he recovered my account because he knew he figured out my security questions. He goes in this
brother's name?
yeah, Aiden. Yeah, he goes in this floor. He goes in a floor with like some of those old 3BO guys like Suguru and like Travis and like I Got Screwed. Back when they were just so shit, and he does this frozen. He does this frozen trio. I think. Yeah, it was a frozen trio. No, it wasn't a trio. It was a 5-man. Yeah, it was a frozen 5-man. And he gets his -21 mod 50 room map, and and it ended up being like 15 minutes, and it was just like so bad. And Kane and I used to make fun of him so much for it, and then somehow that was like, "Oh, he's a manatee. He can't even fucking read the rooms." So that's how it kind of started.
Okay.
I got a little bit too pumped about that story. Wasn't that funny?
I was entertained. I don't know about the rest of the listeners. We'll find out.
Alright, so I figured at this point we'll play our game. We're gonna do a word association game. It was your idea.
Yeah.
For those who don't know how that works, I'm gonna say a word, or a DGer in this case, and Kevin's gonna say the first word that pops into his head when he thinks of them.
Okay.
So you want to get it started with the first one, Brandon?
Yeah, we just finished talking about him, but we'll start you off with your brother. What is the first word that comes to mind when you think of Pole?
Neckbeard.
Neckbeard, okay.
All right, let's try it.
Okay, well, you guys, for all the viewers out there who don't know my brother, and also for anybody, to be honest, they don't know my brother in real life. He just has the most disgusting fucking neckbeard, and he won't shave it. And every time I see him, I'm like, "Shave your fucking neckbeard." And he won't. So that's the first thing.
All right, let's try the next one. Bullseye. You gotta give me these thoughts really quickly.
Legend. I don't know.
Okay.
Legend it is.
I can't think.
We're gonna move on to the third guy, Ferrado.
Autistic.
Autistic, okay.
All right.
Okay, well, there's something weird about Ferrado. He's like sort of autistic, but it's really strange. Like, he's very, very mild. You catch hints of it here and there.
So he's mildly autistic, okay.
Yeah, but he never acts like straight up autistic ever. It's just like the overall feeling you get from interacting with him. You just like feel like you've lost a few brain cells. So I would go with autistic.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Next one, Morp.
That's done, boys. Come on, open. Done, boys. Come on, open.
I don't know. It's the slurp sound. That's all.
Slurp. Okay.
Morp is associated with slurp. Okay. Next one we have is LTGGS.
Legend.
Legend
Alright.
again.
Yeah. No, LTGGS. He's the best DJ
Of all
I've ever-
time.
I've ever. I think
Okay.
so.
That's
Well-
like 5 words. We're just looking for one here.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Rune Full Body.
Fire alarm.
Anyone that's DJ'd with him will know what that means.
Oh my god.
The next one we have for you is Mike Reza.
Nigger.
That's an easy one.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Namiela.
Mm. All I can think of is his real name, Aman. I don't know why.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Aman.
Aman Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, we can just use his name for his word associated. The next one we have is Utilute.
This gonna be fucking hard.
Oh, one word.
If I had to pick a word, I'd pick Catagon. Because you used to have a fucking Catagon 2N.
That's a good one. I like that. Blaubeer.
Spaz.
Next one is our very first DG podcast guest, Lights473.
Retarded.
Starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah. If I had to go with one word.
All right, let's see if your answer changes for this one. Toys for Tots.
Laugh. Because goddamn
Yeah.
scary laugh he has. Frightens me when I have nightmares.
That wasn't Toys for Tots laughs. That was actually Kevin's laugh that we have recorded on soundboard. Okay, the next one we have for you is Calgary. Born AFK.
Foreign as fuck. I don't really know Calgary that well. I've only done like 2 4
Alright.
of them.
I think he likes to think of himself as not very foreign, but
He's self-proclaimed #1 American.
He was the OG foreigner though. He was
Okay.
the OG.
Tubes of Corva.
Shit. I just always remember back in the day when everybody hated him because he was so fucking shit and he get like these amazing records.
Okay.
Alright, so this next one. Think of the horse mask, laugh attack.
Spaz again. I have to go. I don't...
Really? You wouldn't pick Frozen?
Oh yeah. Frozen, yeah. His
Jig?
Jig. I've never met somebody like Laugh Attack who just would get so mad at RuneScape. It's like it offended his soul.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Alright. Everyone's favorite. Jesper.
Joke. Oh my god. I'm being so harsh. People are gonna
You're
read
hating
this.
on everyone.
You're gonna listen to this and hate me.
You want to elaborate on
Well-
that a little bit?
No, I like Jesper. I like him. He's good. He's not bad, but I just always think about back in the day when he was just like so shit.
Right.
When he had the biggest ego. He was like basically Snuffy.
Foreign Snuffy.
Alright, speaking of foreigners, the next one on our list is Mustafa.
Virgin. Yu-Gi-Oh! J's on my feet.
XD.
Fucking virgins.
Yeah, okay. Well, that rounds it out.
Sweet. That was not a bad game.
No, that was pretty fun.
Might have to use that for future podcasts with other guests.
You may have made a few enemies, but
That
Yeah.
was good. I don't
We have so we gave a shout out to you for our last podcast because you just got married on that exact day we recorded that one.
congratulations again.
So once again, congratulations on your
Thank you.
marriage. And I'm sure many of us are wondering, are you going to be training up your kids to follow the Dungeoneering legacy?
Man, in like 20 years from now, if dungeoneering still exists, I'm making a statement right now. I will train my
Alright.
kids.
20
You heard
years
it
from
here
now.
first.
What's that?
20 years from now.
Mini Kohlers are coming to the DG community. Watch out.
Start the countdown clock.
Mini colors. Uncle Pole.
And Uncle Pole can help.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a scary thought.
Oh,
Uncle Paul.
I just ate some peppermint. It's fucking stinging. Oh,
We'll give you a minute until you're okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so that'll be exciting. Recently on the XPWest forums, you posted what you called the DG Hall of Fame. You listed everyone who you think has made a contribution to the community.
And
Yeah.
then
What-
anyone that's not shit, pretty much.
Right. So what was the
Yeah.
thought process there? What was it like creating that list?
Well, I think like in terms of, see, I can't really talk now because I've been inactive for about a year.
Okay.
But in terms of like the overall Dungeoneering era, I probably have DG'd with the most people. Like I've done floors with almost every person who's
Mhm.
like gotten a record, except for like the newer people. So like obviously I wasn't being super serious about the post. Like I'm not claiming. I didn't sit there for like a week and like research.
Right. Okay.
Didn't make like a coefficient, but
Well, not that you haven't in the past, right?
yeah. Yeah. But I thought it would be kind of a fun exercise, just thinking about all the older people I used to DG with and who I would still consider to have sort of a legacy on the metagame. And a lot of the people I included are pretty shit. Like I'm looking at it again, like Zygar, and like like I don't know. Well, he's really the only one who's that shit on the list now that I look at it.
Tennis.
Tennis, yeah.
Shout out to Tennis.
Chillax.
Oh, he had the first sub 4. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Sub
Man.
11, sub 12 solo faster than Jamie.
Yeah.
Faster than Jamie.
Does being good at DG even matter anymore? Like honestly.
At this point, it's all about the spawns. You don't even have to be good at DG. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So
No.
it's not even
okay.
it's not even a relevant question anymore. Is somebody good? Like, can they speak English? And can you like are they annoying as fuck?
You don't even need to speak English.
Yeah.
I think there is a threshold still for a lot of people to make it onto speed teams, but I'd say making your own decisions and speaking in English pretty much covers it all.
And you need to be able to like sit there and grind for like 10 hours a day for like a month if you ever want to get a record.
So what's the Calgar is probably the figurehead for grinding records these days. What
Right.
would you say to him?
It's kind of I don't have anything against Calgary because if you think in terms of grinding, it was our team that set the standard.
Right. So you
When
kind
we were
of ruined DG.
Yeah. I
Fuck
will.
you, Kevin.
No, well, when we were going for that sub 4,
Putting him on blast on his own podcast.
when we were going for that sub 4 Frozen, we got like 30 Frozen records sequentially, like over and over, like smaller and smaller increments.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was a new like level of grinding, I think, for any theme.
We worked pretty hard trying to get a sub 4. And then the team that got the first sub 4, oh man.
I know. I was actually so upset.
It's okay, we got the second one, so we still have a bit of... We're not too shamed.
There's only 2 pre-Juju sub 4s.
Yeah, so fuck everyone that had to get one after your shit.
Appreciate it, man.
Exactly. Well, it was kind of upsetting because of the amount of times where we should have gotten a sub 4 and some bullshit happened.
Oh,
When
that
we
shit,
finally
eh?
when we finally broke the 418 curves,
Yeah.
got that 415, and then the
Yeah.
flood was just open and everyone started getting sub 418s.
Yeah, like, yeah.
It's
Oh
really
my god.
weird.
The grind to get the 418, we got like so many like 428 and like 431 and like 434.
Proud to be the team that got closest to it with the 419.
I was in the second 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and like 7th sub 5. I remember that. That was kind of fun. I think the most fun I ever had with Dungeoneering was trying to get sub 5 all themes. That was really fun. Because it was like
won that race again?
me.
You won that race? Who were you competing against? RFB?
RFB.
Right.
You know, the third person guy was like Simon or something weird. He just had some weird combination of floors.
Well, I just want to let you know that Lights was 3rd to sub 4 all teams. I think that's amazing.
I don't think many people know this.
That's funny. Well, I had to get back at RFB because I was 2nd to sub 6 all themes. He was 1st.
Thanks, Ben. By the way, shout out to Ben. Ben has been doing the audio for our
Ben is our
podcast.
behind-the-scenes soundboard operator.
Yeah. But man, don't laugh. There was so much pent up.
Not him
energy.
laughing, that's you.
No, because when we actually got that sub 4, it was the biggest relief of my life. I basically quit DG after. I was like,
That's when
well,
I quit. And then I'm
yes.
like, wait, no, why isn't anyone else quitting? We all said we quit.
This laugh, by the way, that you're hearing is, by the way, why can I hear myself?
I can
Echo?
hear you.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Oh yeah.
Well, try to fix the echo.
Am I echoing?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's not me then.
Hello. Okay, I think
Hey.
it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Well, that
Continue.
laugh that we're hearing is from Kevin's first sub 4. That explains the jubilation in his voice, I guess.
Yeah. Do you guys remember your first sub 5?
Yeah.
437 occult?
419.
Oh, Oh yeah, so 437 call. What a legendary floor. I think my point of view is like the best DOC.
If we got that floor like nowadays, I'd be like probably like close to sub 3 with all the surges and the extra DPS, and like everyone was on a separate path the entire fucking time.
You know what's upsetting to think about? That 418 floor would literally be like, even if they executed it properly back then, would be like sub 4. And that was with like, they had to get runes. They had to like, all this stuff. Like that one would easily be sub 3. They fucked up the pathing too.
Easily sub 3?
Mm-hmm. The 418
Really?
Frozen?
Sub 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be.
Would you say
It's
the
a
418
huge
map is
gap.
the closest to like a perfect spawn map for a 5-man?
No, I would say the closest to the perfect spawn was that one trio record those guys got. Those
right.
random people. Do you
Two
remember what?
Tweety mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
Tweety
like.
mate and tough.
That one was like what? Like 21 mod, 50 rooms, like perfect paths.
Yeah. I think that was number 1 for us, and it was also like number 5 5-man or something.
Yeah.
That was right before the.
And that was back when records were shit, but they weren't.
I mean, it didn't hold a candle to 703 occult trio though.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for that post I made on the XP Waste forums about the 418 because I figured it out exactly how much time they wasted by pathing improperly.
I remember there was a perfect map thread where there were a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, you made this.
I made that thread, yeah. Oh, I just gotta find it. But I remember, I think I calculated, like, if they actually did it properly, and remember they healed boss, too. Like, they healed the boss.
Oh, right.
So if they
What a
didn't
bunch
heal
of
the
shit
boss, and they pathed properly, it easily would have been sub 4. Like, and then just taking out the runes, like, because it takes 10 seconds to get out of base back then, because they had to make runes, would have been like 340. So, imagine with like more DPS and people that are actually decent, and like, it
Oh my
easily
God.
could have been sub 3.
I'm just imagining right now.
Just imagine it, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. I remember being that floor was kind of it was annoying to me because that team was so retarded, and then they were like, "Do you want a DG?" I was like, "No, I'd rather just do 3 BO4s." And then of course they get that floor. I could have been on the team. I don't think I'm gonna find the post, but it's not important.
All right.
All right, well, it's time to start wrapping things up then. Kevin,
Okay.
as
Is there
always.
any shout-outs you want to give to the lovely audience that is listening?
I'd like to give out a shout out to Lights, for sort of like every era of DG sort of needs a mascot for like being like the retarded person of the
Well,
community.
in the first podcast, I called him the heart and soul of DG community. That's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, well, because like in every era, there's always one person who takes everything too seriously and is like really retarded and really vocal about it.
Right.
Like for example, like a good example of pre-OC would be like Bladderbeer or something.
Uh-huh.
There needs to be like a really retarded, like Salone. Salone would be a good example pre-OC.
Someone that people can say, fuck.
And
blank.
yeah.
Yeah, when you serve floor and you say "fuck lights," it's kind
Right.
of like that.
Yeah,
Adam.
I was sort of the retard before I quit, but
Right.
I'm proud of
But now you've seen the light.
Lights is living up to my legacy of being retarded. So
So
I'm proud
lights
of
is
him.
like, yeah, you left your legacy to lights.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
very
I
nice.
remember the days of Lights just being a person who commented on DG Records, being like, "Sweet floor, guys, XD." So now this full retard manner. I feel like a proud father.
Okay, so that's our first
That is-
actual heartfelt shout out.
That is lovely, Kevin.
Yeah.
Lights, I hope you get that message.
Lights will definitely be watching.
I'd like to give a shout out to
Your wife, maybe?
my beautiful wife
Chelsea
Chelsea,
The
Kohler.
lovely Chelsea.
whom I will not show this podcast.
If it finds its way to her Facebook, I mean, we'll never know.
I don't think so. And then I'd like to give out a shout out to Mustafa for well, the audience doesn't know yet, but Mustafa is currently writing a manifesto, and he's gonna run for president. You guys, you heard it here first.
All right.
Everyone, vote Mustafa. He will get rid of all the virgins
Yeah,
in the land.
And his platform is simple but effective. You know when you go on Dungeoneering Worlds and you just see a bunch of virgins and you're like, oh, what a bunch of fucking virgins! I bet they're virgins.
I bet they play
Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! And
They're all probably playing Yu-Gi-Oh over there.
Yeah, like they probably are playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
yeah.
But Mustafa's plan, I'm not really sure, but it has something to do with dogs and killing dogs. So somehow
the dog
like,
emojis, I think.
I think the virgins are dogs.
For every dog you kill on a furnished floor, it kills a dog emoji.
Yeah. So if you guys vote for Mustafa, there'll be no more virgins. So that's
All
always.
right.
That is a strong platform to get behind.
I'd also like to shout out to Pierce because
That's
he's, like,
overall
the only person
5-man
I still
record.
talk to.
Didn't see that one coming.
What? And because yep. Okay.
Once again, Kevin is on the job, so just give us a moment while we get him back. He's currently helping someone.
Oh well, I just had
Welcome
some.
back.
Yeah. Damn, that was kind of embarrassing.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, you don't have anything left to be embarrassed about with your life.
Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to RFB. Like, this is a real shout out because I think he was like my best like person I like to DG with throughout the whole era that I DG'd. So
Oh,
Aww,
that's really sweet, Kevin. I'm glad we asked you to do
you
shout outs.
should get that room. Hee.
All right, so everyone vote for Mustafa.
yeah.
And, we're very happy that you were able to find the time to join us.
It's a true honor. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Kevin,
This
do the
is-
fucking dishes.
We just had a rogue run through our studio. I believe that was Mustafa that just ran by.
Get him out of here.
Security? Oh wait, Kevin, you're the security. Go get him.
Alright, yeah, so thanks for joining us, Kevin. Thanks for
No
watching,
problem.
everyone.
It was my pleasure.
Stay tuned for the next DG podcast. We don't know who we're gonna have next. Maybe we can find Bal's dead body, resurrect him. We don't know. We'll find out